Hi folks and welcome back to the channel. Up until very recently I'd never been to a Comic-Con or any kind of geek convention or card show or anything like that, but I had the opportunity to go to a local Comic-Con in Glasgow SEC with my friends recently, and we just had a blast. We had a great time, loads of fun, loads of laughs, and I just want to talk about that first time experience going to Comic-Con, what it was like, what the atmosphere was like, what it was like, you know, getting in, queuing up, and talk a bit about what we've seen at the vendor stalls, at the prop area, at the kind of artist area and stuff like that as well. So the first thing that I noticed that was great was just walking down to the venue. Everyone was wearing all their cosplays, all prepped and ready for the big day out at Comic-Con, just expressing themselves and showing their love for their favourite franchises and stuff like that, whether that's, you know, anime, whether it's movies or cartoons or comic books and stuff, and it was just a great atmosphere. Even just in the lead up to getting to the building, you could tell there was a real buzz around the area, and just loads of people were excited to be coming to Comic-Con that day. Once we actually got inside the building, it was great as well. You know, you could hear all the commotion and stuff like that going on. We walked straight down and into the queue, and there was like multiple queues set up, a big barrier system, but to be honest, there wasn't actually that many people in the queue. The people were getting through quite quickly, so I think it was like 3 or 4 people in front of us. We got through pretty quickly, and as soon as we walked through, we were into the kind of movie prop area, and they had all sorts of different stuff, from things like you know, the Alien movies, which I love, to be honest. One of my favourite series, so it was good to see like the pulse rifles and the face huggers and stuff like that. They also had stuff from Star Trek. They had a section from Star Wars where they had a load of R2-D2s and or different kind of droids that were all, you know, roaming around the show floor and stuff like that, which was really cool. Moving on from there was Star Wars stuff. There was Tusken Raiders, there was Chewbacca's. There was also a Red Dwarf section for the British people that know Red Dwarf. That was really good as well. They had the kind of bunk beds from Rimmer and Lister's quarters in Red Dwarf. After the kind of movie prop section, there was a big area for vendor stalls selling all sorts of stuff, from, you know, comic books and anime and manga and stuff like that, to plushies, obviously some trading card stalls as well, you know, stuff that's got old films there, there was even someone selling like homemade mead and things like that there as well. So it was just cool to walk around and see all the different merchandise from all these different franchises and stuff like that, and, you know, just seeing the different people, you know, interacting with each other and, you know, try to figure out bargains and what was worth picking up. So yeah, that was really cool, and I think there was a lot of kind of one of a kind items there that you wouldn't be able to see elsewhere. A lot of kind of props and stuff like that as well, like not actual used movie props, but stuff that you could use maybe if you wanted to make your own movies. So that was really cool to see as well, that it's kind of supporting the creative side of it as well, and it's not just wanting to basically sell merch to people. So that was really cool. As we walked around to the end of the vendor section, there was actually a wrestling arena as well. So that was a load of fun. We managed to get in to see one of the matches, and it was a tag team match where one of the tag teams was Team Rocket, Jesse and James from Team Rocket, and that was a whole load of fun. Just they played into that role as in the actual wrestling match as well. You know, when James jumped off the ring to slam onto someone, and he shouted, "Team Rocket's blasting off again." So that's like a throwback to the old cartoons. So yeah, that was really, really cool and really fun, and just like, yeah, it's an exciting thing to have at Comic-Con, just as an addition to the stalls and everything like that. It gives us a little bit of a show to watch, and I really like that element of it. After the wrestling section, there was a section that was kind of like signings and stuff like that, so different kind of celebrities and stuff. I'll be honest, we didn't really go through that too much. I was aware that Robert Carlyle was there, who's kind of obviously a famous actor, played Begbie in Trainspotting. I don't know if that's maybe to do with 28 Years Later coming out. I know he was in 28 Weeks Later, but I'm just trying to think of what franchise he was actually there to represent, to be honest. But yeah, famous actor, particularly in Scotland as well. So it was cool that he was there for people that were interested to go and get an autograph or whatever. There were also a few kind of cars and stuff like that were all wrapped in manga and anime, which were pretty cool. After we'd seen that, we went round to the art kind of area where it was people selling their own artwork and creations and crafts that they'd made. And there was a lot of really cool stuff around there as well, to be honest with you. It was really great to see a load of local artists, producing really high quality work, and being able to find somewhere where they can sell that and get a market for that. Because I think it can be hard as an independent creator. Obviously, we've got things like Etsy and Vinted and all these kind of things where you can sell your material, but Comic-Con is such a great place where you're going to get loads of footfall of people that are going to be interested in that sort of stuff there. And again, the kind of work varied from traditional high fantasy type artwork and stuff like that to like that Dungeons and Dragons type thing to more like anime, manga style, cutesy art, kind of kitsch sort of stuff as well. And as I say, kind of even props and jewelry and all sorts of stuff. If you were like a costume designer or something like that in the movie industry, this would be a fantastic place that you'd be able to just pick up loads of different stuff that you could use as props or clothing or outfits in theatre or in movies or even just like YouTube productions and stuff like that. So again, I think that's really cool that it's allowing creators to connect with other creators, as well as kind of bring in the commercial side of it and give people opportunity to make money from the stuff that they've made. Especially in the kind of online age now, where it's very easy to get your work stolen online. It's very easy for AI to kind of rip off your stuff. It's hard to know sometimes whether something's actually been created by a human or what level of AI has been used to create it and things like that. So the online marketplace has become a bit saturated and like watered down, so it's really cool to be able to actually just go to a physical location, get a load of geeks there and let them geek out on the stuff that they love. Yeah, so that was a great experience, just kind of going round for the first time and just checking everything out. So after the artist kind of village, we'd kind of been round just about everything, and it was time, I guess, to start hunting for Pokemon cards. So we went back round to the vendor section and started looking at the different stalls that had Pokemon cards available. First one, I wasn't so sure about myself. They had a lot of kind of like just bulk cards and stuff like that. And then like a couple of tins, like the kind of bigger Pokemon tins with the 4 packs in them, 4 or 5 packs, I can't remember. Kind of collections and stuff, with the promo cards and a couple of boosters, the kind of boxed collections and stuff. They also had like mini tins, but what they'd done is it wasn't like sealed Pokemon mini tins. They'd kind of opened the mini tins themselves and then they'd kind of put their own mystery like selection in, sort of thing, as if it was like their own kind of version of a booster pack. And I just, I didn't like the idea of that, because you just feel like they're not going to put any like really proper good hits in there, are they? They're going to take the best for themselves. And like really, it's maybe for kids or something like that, that'd be all right, because they're not going to really understand that level of it. But I just didn't, I kind of felt like, yeah, he's going to be taking all the best stuff for himself, and he's just going to be putting what he doesn't need in these tins and then selling them on. And they were like 10 quids, which is the same as a normal mini tin from Argos or something like that. So I would rather just go and get them from Argos, where I know, yeah, absolutely legit, and I'm going to actually get 2 booster packs in there, so I could get a good chance of getting a hit. So in the end, I didn't actually buy anything from that stall, because I just didn't get a good feeling from those mini tins. So what I done was I went round to the next stall, which was the card vault and actual card shop, which gave me a bit more confidence in buying from them as well. They had a load of different singles available. They had some booster packs, particularly Japanese booster packs. They had a couple of ETBs there. I think it was Paradox Rift for 55, and then they had a Scarlet and Violet base set for 65. Which is not, 55's not too bad for an ATB, but I just, I didn't fancy one of those sets. I was kind of looking for something a bit maybe like Destined Rivals or Black Bolt or White Flare. So they actually had some Black Bolt and White Flare booster bundles there as well. And so I'm thinking, for the same sort of price, if I was to get 2 booster bundles, that's going to give me, 12 packs compared to the 9 probably that I would get in an ETB. So really it was booster bundles that I was thinking was probably my best bet. But they were charging 35 for them, and I thought that just a little bit too much for me, and MSRP is normally 25. I think that maybe I can get it somewhere a little bit cheaper. So I just let them know I maybe come back, and I carried on round. I found another stall. They were selling the same booster bundles for about £32, £31.99 or something like that. So again, I kind of kept that in mind, and I thought, oh, do you know, I'm just going to check out every card stall and see what prices are available. And eventually I managed to pick up 2 booster bundles, Black Bolt, White Flare each, and it was £28 each, which is a little bit more than you can pay for MSRP, but they were just there. I could pick them up straight away, so yeah, it was just easy to get them there for that price, and I wasn't paying too much over the odds. I think obviously when you're at a convention like Comic-Con, you're going to be paying a little bit more because those guys have got to pay for their stall there and everything like that. They know they've got a kind of trapped market. They know people are coming to try and buy merch and stuff like that. Probably if you don't buy them for that price, someone else will. So I just thought, you know what, I'll pick them up just now, because who knows when I'll get a chance to pick up a couple of booster bundles of that again. So picked them up and took them home, and I'll be opening those in an upcoming video as well. So on top of the booster bundles that I picked up, my mates also picked up some bits and pieces. They got some binders to keep their cards in. They also picked up some Japanese booster packs, which we'll be opening on Random Rips, which is kind of cool. They also picked up a Black Bolt booster bundle for themselves, so that was cool as well. It was just great to be able to pick up a load of products, so we've got plenty of stuff to go home and open from the convention. So that was great. Yeah, we managed to pick up plenty of stuff, even though it wasn't specifically a card show. It was more of just a general Comic-Con. I think the only thing about the day was that it was very, very busy and kind of hard to get around and hard to get in to see some of the stalls because people were crowded around so much. I think if I was to go back, you had the opportunity basically to buy an early ticket where you could go before 12 o'clock, and then after 12 o'clock was kind of general release. So maybe next time I would go earlier and go before 12 o'clock, pay a little bit extra, and that maybe give me the chance to go around the stalls a bit more openly, because it was hard to sometimes to get in to see what you wanted to see, or even to see what was there in the first place. So I think that's probably maybe the only drawback, was that it was really just that busy that it was kind of difficult to actually navigate around the convention and around the show floor. Other than that, I mean, it's probably a blessing and a curse though, because it just shows that there is so many other like-minded geeks, so many other people that are into the same sort of stuff as me and my friends, and that there's just a massive community out there for it. And I think these kind of conventions and shows, you know, bring us kind of introverted people that would normally be sitting at home, you know, playing video games and stuff like that, manage to get people out. And it's also something that's kind of wholesome and positive. It's creative, and you know, a lot of, especially in Scotland, there's a history of people just going to the pub all the time, and that's how people socialise. So it's nice to have kind of another third place where people can get together and socialise without involving alcohol or something like that. So yeah, it's just a great experience, and it's just really positive, and just giving me a lot of kind of good vibes and stuff like that coming out of it. Kind of inspirational a little bit as well in terms of content that I want to make, and you know, looking at the other trading card games and stuff like that, is that something I can get involved in, or you know, looking at other ways the Pokemon franchise was represented there, and you know, maybe things that I can incorporate into my content as well. So yeah, just a brilliant day out. I would recommend anybody to kind of go to the Comic Cons. I think it was Epic Comic Cons that was running that, so I believe they've got them dotted all over the UK at different times of the year, so I'll be keeping my eyes open for the next one. I'm hoping that eventually soon I can get to an actual card show as well, and really just focus on the Pokemon card stuff that I've been doing on this channel, because I think that'd be great content for you guys, and also just a great experience for myself, just a great opportunity to meet other people in the hobby. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to any kind of upcoming card shows, and as I say, any Comic Cons or kind of that sort of thing, that would relate to either the content on the channel here or just even my interests as a total geek. So yeah, thanks very much for tuning in and listening to my rant about Comic Con. As I said, a great day out, and I do recommend going. If you like the video, give it a like. If you want to see more videos about things like Comic Con and card shows, or even about Pokemon cards, card collecting, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps out, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.